we had a lot of racial tensions also during Vietnam War. When I took over command of this headquarters company of the 4th Transportation Command, the colonel who was commanding in place of a general told me that he had this soldier who was a very much of an activist, if you want to call it that, for equality and social rights of blacks and so forth. And he belonged to me as in my company. But the colonel had given him a blank check to do what he could do to help improve racial relations. Well, the guy turned in to be an outright militant. He wasn't a good advocate for racial harmony. Mm-hmm. He in fact was a proponent of racial conflict. He was always going around saying, you can't make the soldiers do this, you can't do that, otherwise he's trying to tell me how to do my job and so on. But I'm cooperating with the colonel, and I'm cooperating with this guy too. And he's constantly wanting to go to Saigon. In Saigon at that time was a group of civilian American lawyers who were advocates, pro bono advocates, for soldiers who claimed they were being mistreated or treated wrongly in some way. And this guy was always wanting to go in and consult with these lawyers and so forth. That's okay. But at night, I found him at night having meetings with blacks and, you know, raising, advocating militancy, advocating you got to fight back. You can't do that. You know, they can't make you do this. They can't make you do that. The bottom line was, we weren't making any improvements. And the colonel told me, okay, curtail, pull this guy's leash back in and so forth. I thought the idea was a good one. I thought the colonel giving this guy a carte blanche to try to improve things was a good thing. So I wasn't fighting this guy at all. I mean, he wasn't it wasn't like there was some other work that needed to be done that wasn't getting done because he was doing this. So I didn't have any axe to grind with him or anything like that. But all he was doing was increasing tensions instead of ameliorating them. And I shared this with the colonel, and he said, "Okay, let's stop it." When I called the soldier in, and I told him that it's over. You know, we're gonna. And I don't remember the exact details, but he actually refused. He actually, I said, you know, I said, I understand this is not a request. This is an order. I refuse. I'm not going to do it. So I had him arrested, refusing a lawful order, and took him to Long Binh jail. Well, at Long Binh jail during the in-processing, there's a military police first lieutenant who's checking him over, and they spread eagle on the wall, and they're patting him down, and this guy is just spewing vehement profanity, and at the point in time, he tells the first lieutenant, he says, I'm glad I'm here, because now I'm going to organize this place. At that point in time, the lieutenant, who has a billy club, and the guy spread on the wall, takes the billy club in between his legs and goes bop with the billy club. And of course, the soldier just crumples to the floor. And then, by protocol, I'm supposed to, at that point in time, I leave. But I'm supposed to go visit him once a week in Long Beach jail. So I go to visit him, and he's in isolation. It's a particular place within the jail complex. Are you familiar with a Connex box?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They've removed the doors of a Connex box and put bars for the door. And that's what he's living in the Connex box. But he's on a hunger strike. He's still going to organize this place. He's on a hunger strike. And his guard is another black soldier who's about 7 foot tall. He's a big guy. Not wired real well, but knows his job. And I said, well, he's on hunger strike. What do you do? How is this being handled? And this big, tall guy says, I get more to eat. I'll never forget that. He says, I get more to eat. In other words, they still bring him food. He refuses it, so the guard gets his food too. Didn't get much deeper into it than that as far as Long Beach jail is concerned, but it had the reputation of being someplace you didn't want to go.